Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I am doing an updated 2026 House election prediction for all of the congressional districts up in 2026, all 435 of them. So what I'm going to do in this video is go state by state using 270towin.com of the House map and give our updated predictions for how I think it's going to go in the 2026 midterms. So first things first, just to get out of the way, the current House map right now, there are some vacancies and there are some congressmen or congresswomen that are currently independents that were a part of the party before that are now not. So Republicans essentially hold a majority of 220 and Democrats hold 215. That was right after the 2024 presidential election or 2024 elections. So now going into 2026, obviously it's going to be starting from there. To hold a majority in the U.S. House, you need to have a majority of 435 House seats, which is 218 House seats. So the Republicans, just doing the math, have roughly about a 3-seat House majority at this current point in time. I also just want to show really briefly before we start out the current approval ratings of President Trump, who's currently down about 16 points on his approval ratings and on the generic congressional ballot for 2026, where the Democrats currently have about a 4-point lead. The Democrats leading at about 4 points right now puts them in a strong position to take back the House and pick up several House seats as well to give them an ability to stop President Trump's agenda in the final 2 years of his second term. So with that said, that's the House map right now. We're now going to look at the interactive map that 270 to win has, with Democrats at 216, Republicans at 202. Still, we're going to go through every state and assign them according to the rankings that we have, and we'll go from there. So, and if there's any districts I want to look closely on, I have other websites up as well where we can look at the election results more in depth if applicable. As for the state of Alabama, unless the Voting Rights Act gets overturned and things rapidly change on the map, using the current information that we have as of May 3rd, 2026, the Alabama map is going to remain the way that it is, with I believe it's 7 congressional districts, 2 for the Democrats and 5 for the Republicans, will not be changing. The state of Alaska, which was very competitive in 2024, where Republican Nick Begich defeated Democrat Mary Peltola, is going to remain likely for the Republicans. That's what the rankings have it. That's how I have it as well. It was only about a 2-point win, but again, with Peltola not in the race, should not be too much of a problem for the Republican to hold on there. Arizona is going to be very interesting. There are 2 Senate races that are up in the 1st district, with Representative David Schweikert retiring to run for governor, and Arizona's 6th district with the Republican candidate Juan Cisco-Manny. There's also Arizona 2 with Eli Crane as well. Now in 2024, their election results in these ones was about 3.8% for Dave Schweikert, 2.5% for Juan Cisco-Manny, and about a 9-point win for Eli Crane in 2024. And again, I should mention just before we advance, Republicans won nationwide, 50.6% of all House votes. Democrats won 47.8%. So if you were to round up, roughly Republicans won by 2.8%. Rounding up would be about 3 points nationwide. The Republicans won by, and the Democrats are currently leading by about 4.2. So if you want to do it that way, it's essentially a shift of about 7 points in the Democrats' direction from 2024 to 2026 if everything else remained the same. And we can actually get a quick look of what that would look like. That would essentially give the Democrats, based on the 2024 map, approximately 224 House seats, Republicans 196, with 11 additional flips as well for the Democrats and about 4 for the Republicans. But again, it's not going to be the exact same because now some of the maps are different, but that's how that would end up looking. As for Arizona, though, Arizona won with Dave Schweikert not running. It's being an open race. In Arizona, Juan Cisco-Manny, not an open race, but only 2.5% for 2024, given the approval ratings of the president and given the Democrats' lead on the generic congressional ballot right now, it seems certainly primed for both of these districts to flip to the Democrats and to do so by a lean margin. This would mean in between a 1 and 5% win, and I think those 2 races will ultimately go to the Democrats when everything is said and done. As for the state of Arkansas, 4 House districts there, all 4 are safe for the Republicans, no surprise there. California, they are one of several states that has had their map redrawn. The rankings in the state of California for the districts that have moved to the blue, you have a district like, I believe, California 1, with the Republican congressman whose name is escaping me right now, but he became an independent to try and help his election odds in California. There's also another district, Kevin Kiley, the 3rd district. He is running in the 6th district, Kevin Kiley, not in the 3rd district this time around. But as for the Democratic districts like California 13, I think Adam Gray holds that. Darrell Issa wins California 48, his district. That's going to be a lean Democrat as well. The only toss-up one is David Valadao in California 22. It's going to be very close. David Valadao has survived several tough past elections before, but this is now a new House map. The 22nd district in California, in the prior map before that, Valadao won by 6.8%, but it was drawn to be more of a pickup opportunity for the Democrats, and I ultimately think the Democrats are going to narrowly hold on and win that district. As for the rest of the districts in California, they're all either solid red or solid blue, outside of a few competitive ones like Derek Tran in California 45 or California 25, but the 2026 election environment is just not shaping up to be a very strong night for the Republicans, so I don't think the Republicans are going to be able to flip anymore in California. As for Colorado, the state or the district that I think is the most likely to flip nationwide is Colorado 8 with Republican Representative Gabe Evans. He won this race in 2024 against the Democrats by only 0.73%, getting 48.95% of the vote. And I'm certainly betting on this race to flip in 2026 and be one of the first flips that the Democrats have in terms of margin of victory. Certainly think this one's going to flip. Connecticut, I think all the Democratic held seats will currently held Democratic seats will be Democratic once again. The 5th district with Jayana Hayes did have some competitiveness in 2024 and 2022, with the Republican Logan running in 2024 and coming up just short in 2022 by about less than 1 point. But in this election environment, I think we're going to see the Democrats hold on and win Connecticut's districts as well. So Connecticut is going to remain the way it is there. Delaware at large with Sarah McBride is going to remain Democratic. Florida is going to be interesting because it does sound like Florida redistricting is underway now. Which districts are going to get redrawn, it still remains to be seen. But the rumored number has been Ron DeSantis is targeting about 2 to 3 districts to redrawn out of the map. So it is speculation right now, but it does sound like Republicans are probably going to be able to go through and get that done. So I am for this video going to add the prediction. And I think we're going to see 3 flips. We're going to see 1 for Florida 9 with Darren Soto. We're going to take out Jared Moskowitz's district because it is the most competitive. And we're going to say that Florida 20 gets divided up as well and finds a way to vote red as well. Those districts may not be the ones that ultimately get chosen. Florida's Kathy Castor's 14th district could be put in there, or Maxwell Frost's 10th district. However the map goes, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think Republicans are going to pick up 3 seats in Florida once that redistricting does happen. Georgia and its House map is set in stone. All the safe districts in the surrounding Atlanta area and the 2nd district down here, all the red districts throughout the state are all going to remain the way that they are projected. Hawaii's 2 districts are going to be safe as well. Idaho's 2 districts are going to be safe as well. Illinois' districts are all the way they're drawn, going to remain the way they are. Indiana, I think we're going to see the 1st district with Frank Mervan, who won a close election in 2024. Actually, not so close, really, 8.5%. And I think I actually am going to shift the rankings on this one a little bit. I think Mervan's going to win and win by more of a likely Democratic category than the margins are currently projecting. I think that's going to be a more solid Democratic win. Iowa is essentially going to be ground zero for the Republicans' chances at winning the House, as there are 2 incredibly close districts that are up. Marinette Miller-Meeks in the 1st district, Zach Nunn in the 3rd. Iowa in 2024 saw Marinette Miller-Meeks barely hold on by 0.19%. Zach Nunn did ultimately end up winning by 3.8%. Now, the Republicans are in a tough spot where Zach Nunn can very well go down here, and I could ultimately, obviously, come back on this video and be incorrect on this. I actually think Zach Nunn is going to find a way to hold on by under 1 point in this race, but Marinette Miller-Meeks, I think, is almost certainly a goner to lose the 1st district, but Zach Nunn may be a little bit of a silver lining that finds a way to hold on in this district. Seeing that it is 3.8% Republican, maybe a little bit of a buffer, enough in the state of Iowa to maybe hold on. Though with a competitive governor's race at the top of the ticket, it may end up not being as advantageous for the Republicans as maybe another election environment otherwise would be. But going to narrowly give it to Zach Nunn, give the 1st district to Marinette Miller-Meeks. Kansas, its map is going to remain the way that it is. Doesn't sound like it'll be redistricted. Sherry's David should win her district in the 3rd district if she does run again pretty handily. She won it by 10.8% in 2024. If she runs for re-election in this election environment, it's possible it even goes safe for the Democrats. So Kansas's map will remain the way it is. Kentucky, everything's going to really remain the same. Andy Barr's district is open in Kentucky's 6th district, but I don't think we're going to see anything be too competitive there. Louisiana's map is going to remain the way it is as well, with the safe red and safe blue districts. The state of Maine, Paula Page, I am going to shift the rankings down a little bit. This is more of a likely Republican district, but I do think Paula Page will flip Jared Golden's 2nd district and win it, but I think it's going to fall under 5 points, as Jared Golden won in 2024 only by 0.55% on the same ballot when Donald Trump won this district by about 9 points, I do believe, but the election environment is going to be bluer, and the Democratic candidate, even though he's not Jared Golden, is still a pretty strong candidate. So I do think Jared Golden's district will flip to Paula Page, but I think it's going to fall under 5 points and be a lean Republican win. Maryland, its map is not going to be changing as well. All safe Democratic districts except for the 1st, which will be safe Republican. Massachusetts, its map, every single district will be a safe Republican win. No surprises there. Michigan's going to be very fascinating. Michigan has 2 very close districts for the Republicans in Michigan 7 and Michigan 10 with John James. Michigan 8 with Kristen McDonald-Rivette is up in the 4th district with Bill Huizenga as well. Just to show you the map from Michigan in 2024, Barrett won this race by 3.7%. John James won his by 6.1%, but now it's going to be an open race with John James not running, and we'll have to wait and see how that race will all ultimately shake out. Huizenga won by 11.7%, Scholten won by 9.9%, Rivette won by 6.6%. So my modifications for this map, I would put the 8th district into likely Democratic. I would put Tom Barrett's district as narrowly likely to flip, putting it in lean Democrat. I do think John James' district will narrowly end up holding in the tilt Republican category, though. But Michigan does net the 7th district from Tom Barrett. Minnesota, its map is going to remain the same. The 2nd district with Angie Craig not running isn't likely, but I think the Democrats should still hold on and win that district. Mississippi, its map, 1 Democratic held seat, 3 Republican, will remain the way that it is. Missouri's newly drawn map is now locked in, with the 5th district flipping from blue to red from Emmanuel Cleaver. Now the redrawn map, the Republicans will win that. And the Democrats will still hold Wesley Bell's district as well. And Wagner's 2nd district is now more Republican as well there. Montana, the 1st district, could actually be very competitive this time with Ryan Zink not running. Troy Downing will win the 2nd district by a safe margin. The 1st district, though, in 2024 voted for Zink by only 7.7%. Now in an open race, I actually think this one's going to be more competitive and fall under 5 points. Republicans will still hold it, but I do think the margins are going to fall under that 5 point and make it a lean Republican win. Nebraska, its 2nd district, with Don Bacon not running in this race. The handpicked successor Republican candidate, I believe his name was also Lindstrom in this race, I believe dropped out of this race. I would put Nebraska's 2nd district in the likely Democratic category at this point. It's been trending that way for years. Don Bacon did win it by 1.9 against Tony Vargas, but this district is more likely Democratic than Republican at this point. I would put it into likely Democrat. In the state of Nevada, the 2nd district will be open with Mark Amodi now not running for re-election. It did vote for Amodi by 19 points, so this may be the more competitive this district has been, and I actually am going to shift it down to likely Republican, but I do think the Republicans will hold on here. The 4th district with Stephen Horsford should remain likely Democrat along with the 1st district. The 3rd district with Susie Lee is likely to be the more competitive of the districts that voted for 2.7% for Lee over the Republican Johnson in 2024. I am going to leave it narrowly under 5 points, but I do still think ultimately it will still stay in the Democratic direction. New Hampshire, the 2nd district and the 1st district are up. The only change I'm going to put here is in the 1st district, I'm going to up it to likely Democrat, looking like Stephanie Shaheen, the daughter of Jean Shaheen, will be the Democratic candidate. The Republican primary underway there as well, but this district was won by Chris Pappas, the candidate running for Senate in New Hampshire, by about 8.1% in 2024. Without Pappas in the race, it's possible it could be more competitive, though they're not going to find a Democrat with more name ID in the state other than Chris Pappas than perhaps somebody named Shaheen. And I think the Democrats are going to turn out in droves in the 1st district and keep it by more than a 5-point victory. So I'd put the first in likely as well. The state of New Jersey, the only competitive district that's held by a Democrat is the 9th district with Nellie Pugh, but this district I don't think is going to end up flipping for the Republicans. I think the Democrats are going to hold it. Pugh won by 4.9%, and I would end up putting it in the likely Democratic category. The only change on this map here is the 7th district with Tom Keene, which in my last prediction I actually had going for the Republican. If you've been following the news of the U.S. Congress, though, you may know that Tom Keene has missed several votes in the last month or two for, I believe, a medical issue, though it has not been publicly stated what the medical issue is or where Tom Keene's whereabouts are at this current point in time. Tom Keene won his race in 2024 by 5.4%, and he won against the former Democrat Tom Malinowski by 2.8% in 2022. It feels bad to do this while essentially he is missing and to kind of kick him while he's down, but I do think a lot of Democrats running in this race are going to use that as a campaign talking point about him missing votes, and ultimately it may be enough for Tom Keene to ultimately lose this district and have it flip to the Democrats in the 2026 midterms. In the state of New Mexico, the district that's up for grabs that's most competitive is the 2nd district with Gabriel Vasquez, which was, I believe, very close in 2024 and 2022. It voted for Vasquez by 4.2% over Republican Yvette Harrell. It was only a 0.7% win for Vasquez in 2022. I think we see a continuation of this district getting more Democratic, where it just barely goes above that 5-point threshold and goes for the Democrats. New York, in terms of what we'll see here, I think we'll see the Josh Riley New York 19th district. We saw it go in 2024, roughly about 2.2% against the Republican Molinaro. I think it's possible we see it get a little bit more blue in this election environment and end up going to the Democrats. Mike Lawler's district, the 17th district, is going to be a very tough battleground for the Republicans. Lawler won it by 6.3%. Democrats are going to come at the district hard. Lawler won it by 0.64% in 2022. I think we're going to see a very tough election where Mike Lawler ultimately barely loses this district by under 1 point. As for the 3rd and the 4th districts, I think we're going to see them ultimately improve on their margins from the last election, and we see the Democrats solidify some wins there. So a gain for Mike Lawler, or a loss for Mike Lawler, and a gain for the Democrats in the 17th district. As for North Carolina, the 1st district is currently held by Democrat Don Davis. Is projected to be a lean Republican flip, and I would leave it in that category right now, despite the Democrats doing well in this election environment. It is redrawn to give the Republicans a better chance at winning. Davis won this district before it was redrawn in 2024 by about 1.7%. I think we're going to see it flip blue this time around. Now we're going to go to North Dakota at large. That will remain the way it is. Ohio, the map was also redrawn this time around, but the Republicans were not able to get the map redrawn as much as they wanted to try and make this map more competitive. Greg Landsman, the Democrat, is favored to hold on and win in the 1st district. Even on the newly redrawn map, I think he's going to win it by around 5 points and stop the Republicans from winning that district. Won it by 9 on the old map. Sykes won her district by 2.2. That's now a likely Democratic win. Marcy Kaptur only won by 0.63% in 2024. This is the one target Republicans really have on this map is Marcy Kaptur, who was barely able to hold on last time in 2024. Now, the new map does increase the Republican odds at flipping this one. It's possible Republicans win it. It's possible Kaptur holds it. As of today, I'm going to say Ohio 9 narrowly flips to the Republicans, but that's one the Democrats certainly have the opportunity at holding on to as well. Oklahoma and all of its districts will remain the way that they are. Oregon's map going to remain the way that it is as well. The state of Pennsylvania has 3 and maybe even 4 potentially very interesting battleground House districts to look out for in the 10th, 7th, and 8th district. And the bad news for the Republicans in Pennsylvania is they were all incredibly close in 2024. 1.3% for Scott Perry, 1 point for Ryan McKenzie, 1.6% for Rob Bresnahan. Now, the good news for them is in the 1st district with Brian Fitzpatrick. It was a 12.8% win. It'll likely be a lot more narrow this time around in 2024, but I do think we are still going to see that 1st district go by more than 5 points for Fitzpatrick and the Republicans, but I do think the Democrats are going to complete this clean sweep of PA 10, PA 7, and PA 8, and flipping all of them to the Democratic side, and a large reason being is the governor's race with Josh Shapiro at the top of the ticket. I think Democratic turnout is going to be very high, and it's going to be enough down ballot to help these Democrats win these House races as three crucial flips for the Democrats. Rhode Island's House map, the two Democratic safe seats will remain safe. Carolina's House map is going to remain unchanged as well. South Dakota will remain unchanged. Tennessee will end up remaining unchanged with the 5th District as well for Andy Ogles. Texas's House map is going to be very fascinating. The 28th District with Henry Cuellar has now been redrawn, but it's still listed as likely Democratic. The 34th District with Vicente Gonzalez is also going to be a toss-up. Republicans redrew the map to be more competitive, to give them a better chance at winning this race. But ultimately, I think the midterm environment with Trump's approval ratings are going to hurt the Republicans just enough. The Democrats find a way to hold on to the 34th District and keep that one in Democratic hands. Utah, the 1st District, due to it being redrawn, is an automatic Democratic flip. Vermont at large will remain safe Democratic. Virginia, the talk of the town the last few weeks, is the redrawn House map, where now the 1st District is likely Democratic, the 5th District is likely Democratic, the 6th and the 2nd are now in the lean Democratic category. Right now, we don't know 100% all the information off the top of my head how this new map is going to go, but based on the current rankings of the new map, I think we're going to see pretty similar results to this map. The Democrats are going to pick up every seat but one that the Republicans held in 2024 on this Virginia new referendum map. The state of Washington, the only competitive race is Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez, who Perez may have an issue with the Democratic primary with getting through from a more progressively backed candidate, but if she gets to the general election, I think she should win against whatever Republican she faces off against and win it by a pretty handed margin. She won by 3.9% in 2024, despite maybe angering some more farther left Democrats. She should win, and she should win by more than 5 points at the general election level. West Virginia will remain the way that it is. Wisconsin, very close race up in the 3rd District with Derek Van Orden, who won the race in 2024 by roughly about 2.7% against the Democrat Rebecca Cook. She is running again for a rematch, and she this time I do think ultimately, given the Democratic surges in the special Supreme Court elections, I think we're going to see Rebecca Cook narrowly win this race and defeat Derek Van Orden by a very close margin. And the state of Wyoming will remain the way it is. So my updated prediction for the 2026 U.S. House map as of today, May 3rd, 2026, as I think the Democrats will win the majority of the House away from the Republicans, and they will hold a House majority, of 227 House seats to 208 Republican House seats, giving the Democrats a very decently sized majority to stopping a lot of President Trump and the Republicans' agenda for the last 2 years of Trump's second term. But I'm interested to hear what you think. Leave all your comments down below, what you think the House elections will look like for 2026. Who do you think will win the House majority, and which individual House races do you want to comment on? I'll leave that down below. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in a future video.